Hello. As part of my previous video, we have discussed about how we can be able to store a single piece of information using a variable. Suppose I have a single variable name, and to that I am assigning with John. So John is a person's name. How that will be stored inside our computer memory? So computer memory can be thought of as a segmented area inside our computer hard disk. Compiler will be simply picking the string John and will be assigning that to a randomly selected segment in our computer memory, and later it will label that segment as a variable name. So whatever variable name we have given, that will be labeled up and given to that particular memory segment. And here in our case, the name variable name will be similar to the label that will be assigned to that computer memory. So this is all about single piece of information we can be able to store inside a specific variable. But what about multiple piece of information related to a specific object or specific thing? How you can be able to store that? So for that we have object in place. Object is a data structure that will be helping us in doing so. So stay tuned with me and I will be showing you how you can be able to store multiple pieces of data inside object using JavaScript. To simplify this further, let's have a simple example. Meet John. So he is a simple person, and if I would like to capture information related to John, then I can have a variable name. So I can assign the name of that particular person as a string value. Then I can capture the age of that specific person. So John is of age 29, and if this information will be wrapped inside a pair of curly braces, that will be forming a valid object. And yes, I can also capture object inside object, means it can be possible to have nested objects. For example, address of a specific person. So here John is residing in Berkeley Hills, lane 2, and pin is 560076. So as you can see, I have captured address inside another object. So it's completely valid to have nested object in JavaScript. So this is how you will be using object data structure to capture related information about a specific person or thing or object. So let's dive into Visual Studio Code and explore in detail how you can be able to utilize that in your programming, and you can be able to take advantage of object as a data structure. In JavaScript, object can be created in two ways. So you can take help of object constructor, or you can use object literal syntax to create an object. So coming to the first approach, object constructor approach, let's say I have a simple variable user, and to that I will be initializing new, then object constructor. So object, then our object is ready. So let's say I will be trying to console log the same. Then you can see, if I will be putting in user inside, you can see it's a blank object. It doesn't have anything. You can see from output. And if I will try to get type of that specific object, you can see it's outputting object. So as you are aware, JavaScript is having 7 fundamental data types or primitive data types, and object is the non-primitive data type or reference type. So if I would like to come up with properties of a specific object, then I can simply go ahead and I will attach that property by putting in a dot operator. So for example, if I will be putting in name, so user is having a property of name, and to that I will be initializing some value, for example John. So John is the username. If I would like to output this one, so I am removing typeof for now. So you can see it's already there. So basically your object is a combination of key value pairs. Key is a specific string that you have to put in, and value can be anything. Value can be any fundamental type or primitive type, or it can be any kind of object as well. as I have shown in the previous slide. So now another way of creating a property or creating a key value pair is by taking open and closed square brackets. So to that I will be initializing a string. So for example, age is the property name and I would like to assign a number value. So you can see it's already having that as well. So you can be able to create properties to a specific object by using either square bracket way, or you can go ahead with attaching that one with a dot operator. The advantage of having property declaration using square bracket along with a particular string inside is it can be dynamically calculated depending on your requirement. So for example, I will be having a pair of variables. So let age equal to 10. For the time being I am initializing 10. Then depending on this age, I will be calculating what property I should be putting inside my user. So rather than having a hard-coded property value, I can replace this with user age, which is again a string variable, and user age will be child age. So age less than 16 will be making that to child age. If age is not less than 16, then it will be person age. So as I have allotted 10 to age, then you can see here it's coming as child age. Changing this one to, for example, 33, then you can see automatically it has converted to person age. So dynamically you can allot property and value using square bracket along with any kind of variable. So that's a good flexibility to have as part of your object. The second way and the most convenient way of creating an object is by object literal way. Simply I will declare a variable. For example, in my case I will go with person, and to that I will be initializing pair of curly braces. If I would like to get the type of variable that is sitting in your person variable, then I can do so by help of type of operator. So you can see it's outputting as object. So this is also a valid object in JavaScript, and I can be able to attach properties later on. So for example, person dot name as is happening in your object constructor. Similar things will be applied here as well. So to this I will be initializing Rahul, for example. Then you can see it's outputting Rahul. If I will be removing this type of operator, then it's outputting Rahul. I can also attach properties by using square brackets as is happening in the object constructor. So if I will be putting in age to this one, then it will be also doing the same. You can see it's outputting age also. I can also use multiple words for defining a property name. For example, I can use square brackets, and to that if I will be putting in user address, then that is also valid in JavaScript. I can initialize any valid value to this one, right? So this is also valid in JavaScript. And if I am willing to access the same by using dot operator, then I can access name by just simply putting a dot and then putting in the property name. But the same is not possible with user address, because user address is a multiple word property name. So if I am willing to do that one, it will throw error. So it's not able to access. It is trying to search for user property, but instead it is not finding the same inside our object. So that is why it is giving error. You can use square bracket to get this type of property and just wrap it inside a pair of double quotes or single quotes. Then you can be able to access the same. You have to remove dot as well. Then this is completely valid. You can see it's outputting Bengaluru. I can even delete a property name by using delete operator. Delete, then object dot the specific property name. For example, I would like to get rid of age. So if I will try to console log the same, then you can see person. Now person is not having the age property. I have already deleted that one. So just to avoid confusion, I will be commenting this out. You can see now age is not there. So we can use delete operator to delete any property dynamically. I can even create an object directly at the time of initialization rather than attaching property by using dot operator or square bracket. I can do that directly at the time of initialization. So for the time being, I am just simply deleting these three properties. Let me get rid of all these three. Then I can have name as a property. Then to that I will be initializing Rahul. You can see it's outputting Rahul. Then I can have age. So you can see age is 29, and I can have a nested property as well. So for example, I will be adding address. Then inside address, I will be having street name. Okay, street name as Berkeley Hills. Then simply I will go with lane, which is a number 1, lane 2. You can see it's outputting the same. So I can also go by initialization at the time of declaration itself. I can also have computed properties as part of my object. So for example, if I will be taking a boolean variable is employed, I have initialized that to false, and after that I have another variable where I am actually calculating if person is employed or not. If it is employed, then it should be salary what he is receiving, and if he is not employed, then it should be pocket money. So based on this particular variable, I can have a dynamic variable. I will be putting a comma, and then I will wrap it inside a pair of square brackets, and then I will be putting in the user income, and user income I will be giving some 10,000. Right now you can see that property is part of this object, pocket money, and just because this is false, that means user is not employed. That is why it is getting falsified, and then it's outputting pocket money. But if I will make it true, then you can see it's getting salary. So dynamically you can assign anything, and it will be calculated, and it will be assigned to that specific object on runtime. So this is what computed property is, and the same we have seen in the constructor, object constructor way also. That is also applicable to object constructor way. So you can implement this to calculate any kind of expression on the fly and apply that to your object. We can check existence of a particular property inside a object by using in operator. So just for the time being, I will be commenting this out so that my console will be clear. If I am willing to check if person object is having name property or not, then I will be checking for name in person, right? So it's outputting true. That means name is part of your person. If I will try to check for address, so it's also outputting true. But if I will try to check something that is not there inside this particular object, then it will output me false. So for example, if I am willing to go for company, then it's not present in this person object. That is why it will be outputting false. So in similar way, you can try with any kind of property name, and you can check whether it is there inside that object or not. Last but not the least, I can even iterate through the object by using a for in loop to know what key and value pair is existing in that specific object. So let's have an example. So I will be simply taking for in loop. So let key in your object name. So in my case, person is the object, then pair of curly braces, and inside I would like to know what and all keys are there inside that specific object. So console.log, then I will be putting in key. So you can see it's outputting name, age, address, salary, which is exactly what is there inside that particular object. And if I would like to print out the values corresponding to those properties, whatever is inside that object, then I can do so by using person, okay, and then pair of open and close square brackets, and then you can see it's outputting all the values. Rahul 29, this is the object which is your address, and then salary. So in similar way, you can get details of all the information about a specific object. So to summarize all, JavaScript object is a very flexible data structure to give you flexibility of storing multiple information by using a single variable name. You can create an object by taking either object constructor, or you can initialize an object by using object literal way. You can have static properties, or you can come up with dynamic computed properties in order to store values inside a specific object, and we can use in operator for peeking into the object and getting to know whether that specific property is there inside that object or not. And also we can use for in loop in order to get through the object and know what key and value pairs are existing inside that object. So that's all about object in this video, and in later video I will come up with array, which is a very prominent data structure in any kind of programming language, and we will discuss in detail what exactly is an array and how we can be able to use that for our purpose. So stay tuned, and I will see you in my upcoming video. Thank you so much.